You're looking at the latest numbers here for Dorian with 150 mile per hour winds, and this is a storm that is just about 350 miles east of West Palm Beach. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mark Collins here for Channel 4, and we're giving you an update on how Dorian might impact our weather. Still looks like Tuesday evening, Wednesday, we could see some impacts from this hurricane as it gives us a glancing blow. Let's hope so. As it stays off our coastline, the track still keeps it away, but we are in the cone here, and the forecast is for this hurricane to come by North Florida here on Wednesday. Tropical storm watches are now up across southern Florida from Sebastian Inlet southward to Deerfield Beach. They are expecting tropical storm force winds within 48 hours. It's going to take a little longer for those winds to work up the peninsula and impact us. Poor folks in the Bahamas, the hurricane warning, because that storm is going to be rolling them. Do you see any change in the white line and the red line? No, that's the difference in the tracks between the 11 a.m. advisory and the 5 p.m. Not much. So that is something that we can hang our hat on? Probably not. If anything, we might see a little more adjustment away from our coast, but this is certainly good news, right? To keep that track at least not changing closer to us here. Let's hope it stays that way. All right, so let's talk about some details here. Many of the forecast models kind of in line with the Hurricane Center's prediction. We're waiting for that trough to dig down through the Midwest, and hopefully it will pull the storm north and keep it from hitting Florida. Very little any indication that that storm would impact Florida or make a direct landfall. Now, it will have some impacts as far as high winds locally here, but probably in the tropical storm threshold Tuesday night and Wednesday. There you see the track recurving and maybe even glancing the Carolina coastline. Too soon to say if that will actually impact or make a direct hit in South or North Carolina, but what an amazing turn of events that we've seen here from just 24 hours ago when some of these models were taking it right in over Palm Beach County and just kind of sitting it there for a day. Well, we're seeing the change, and the storm is still doing the same things. It's just further east. So the storm is going to be sitting over Abaco Island Sunday evening and pretty much rolling over the Bahamas all day Monday. So it's going to come to a painful crawling westerly movement over Grand Bahama Island into Monday. And there you see on Monday night into Tuesday that turn to the north. It can be difficult. The reason why there's still a little bit of uncertainty is that any shift west in this track and we would see more in the way of hurricane force winds along our coast in Jacksonville versus tropical storm force winds. And when storms slow down, the models can sometimes have a more difficult time predicting their trajectory once they start to pick up their forward speed. So will that trajectory be 360 or say 20 degrees or 45 degrees? Let's hope it's to the north and northeast and not say like 270 or off towards the west or northwest. So this is the comparison between the Euro and the GFS, and you can see the GFS is a little faster than the Euro, but at least they're both talking the same language here. They're following each other, actually maybe even speeding up a bit into Wednesday, and we don't want to have those northeast winds aiming at the coast for too long. That will build up seas to around 15 feet. But if it were to slow down, then we'd have even more erosion concerns than we already have starting Tuesday evening into Wednesday. So we will see some erosion along our beaches. These storms will come through with Category 3 strength and almost the same proximity that we saw Matthew and Floyd. And we remember both those storms took down the Jacksonville Pier. So that is a concern. We do have some showers out there this evening. We'll see spots of rain move in, especially around St. Augustine, Putnam County here through the evening. But looking at tomorrow's forecast, we're going to have a day similar to today. So still no impacts from Dorian. The skies will be partly cloudy. Look for a 40% chance of rain on Sunday, but it will be a little breezier, and those winds will significantly start to increase as we head into Monday night and certainly for Tuesday night. So for your Labor Day, you're looking at winds at around 25 to 30 miles per hour. Not a good boating day Sunday or Monday. Tuesday evening, this is something to look at. You see the storm here. It's going to be roughly about, let's see if I can draw this off of Flagler County. Probably about 100 miles off the coastline there of Flagler County. So starting Tuesday evening, we could see tropical storm force winds showing up in our area. And then as we head through Wednesday, winds will be between 50 and 60 miles per hour gusting along the coast. So like Matthew, you could see some of large waves, but there you see the wind switch to the northwest, and that will minimize a lot of the water piling up along the beach, which could be as high as 4 to 5 feet. So there are no concerns that this would cause any overrunning or overtopping of the dunes. Even along the river, not Irma-like effects that we were originally thinking as the storm would track up the state. So based on this current track, water level staying below 3 feet above mean sea level in the river. However, down around Palaca, there could be some additional piling up of the water in that area. So as you go down the river, about 2.5 feet of water rise is expected from some minor surge conditions there with that storm. And in fact, when you look at the current track, you see Dorian's track, and compare that to Matthew, which was closer to us, and Floyd, which was further off the coast. All three of these storms have the same type of intensity there, and both Matthew and Floyd caused significant problems along our coastline. So with the pier and whatnot, we could see some erosion there. Here's a look at the forecasted wave heights. And the surf is not actually going to be very good with this storm. Sunday will probably be one of your better days, because Sunday is when we start to see the ground swells showing up here in northeast Florida. And the waves will be around 6 to 7 feet. Then Monday, the winds are going to start picking up. It's going to be very choppy. The seas build starting Wednesday morning up to around 13 to 15 feet as the storms moves off our coastline. So let's talk about the impacts. I've been rambling now for 7 minutes, so we'll wrap it up. No impacts on Sunday. We'll see just the normal temperatures in the 80s, and then on Monday you'll start to see even larger surf. We'll be watching the high tide around 11 o'clock, because there you see the winds at around 30 miles per hour to the northeast. That will start to drive up the water levels in the river up to about 2.5 feet in some of the higher places down towards Palaca, but only about 1.5 feet closer to downtown. And then on Tuesday, the rain bands start to move in, and we could see an inch of rain along Tuesday night. Coastal gusts will start to show up to 40 miles per hour, and we'll start to get the more steady rains coming in Tuesday evening. As the storm passes due east of us on Wednesday, anywhere between 4 and 6 inches of rain right there along the coast, and probably around 2 inches of rain from the St. Johns River and back towards the intercoastal waterways, and less than 2 inches in the inland zones. Don't be surprised for some high winds and the possibility of some bridge closures. There's still a possibility here, although maybe not likely. That would be very late Tuesday night into Wednesday if they do that. So you may have some problems on Wednesday getting to work, and if you work outdoors, plan on that being the day where you might not be able to get out to do some work on the job site. So Labor Day is going to be wet. We will have more clouds around. Tuesday is when the rains become a bit more steady, and then Wednesday could be the tropical storm force day with those winds, and maybe even some gusts to hurricane force if we see that track shift any closer to us. All right, so that's your update here for the Saturday evening. We will catch you